we go.
Here we are once again podcasting from Beyond the Grave. I'm here with my co-host, Jason Ramick.
Yes.
And my other co-host, Brad Mosier.
Papa Emeritus the Sixth.
And this is the audio podcast.
And we're talking about today soundtracks.
Why are we talking about soundtracks today?
Because back in the old days, when a movie came out, he put out a soundtrack.
I think they still do that, but it's not as
good as it used to be,
Right.
I mean, they had all the top artists out there putting their music in. Sometimes it wasn't their best music, but a lot of times...
And some of it was already existing songs on actual albums. Sometimes the soundtracks would open you up to whole new bands to check out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually going to see a movie today,
We're going to
or
see
a concert movie.
The film, the debut film from the band Ghost, called Right Here, Right Now, which was filmed at the last stop of the tour in Los Angeles last year. They did 2 shows. All the cell phones were locked in cases so that nobody could record anything. To keep
That's a lot of cases.
to keep it all secretive, and I've heard nothing but good things from it. So it's exciting.
Will there be a soundtrack to this movie?
Well, yes, you can
Be
purchase
all the
it.
albums.
You can purchase the vinyl or the CD, or you can go right now.
This is true.
The
They'll
Right
probably
Here-
put
the Right Here, Right Now
a live
soundtrack.
album.
Yes,
Have they done live albums before?
yes, they have
Okay.
a live album.
Okay. So, anyways, that got us talking about soundtracks, movie soundtracks, and maybe scores to movies as well. And I think we're going to try to, each of us, list our top 5 soundtracks. And I'm watching Donnie going, shit.
I knew I should have done more research.
You mean you couldn't name your top 5 soundtracks right now?
I know probably one of my favorite ones right now,
Mhm.
and that would have to be the Crow CD.
That would also be on my top 5. That had numerous amounts of great songs on there.
Yes, it did. That was a pretty good one from beginning to end almost.
Mhm.
And it was like you said, it turned you into a lot of music that you maybe have heard some of the bands before,
Yeah,
but never
yeah.
heard anything they had done.
Yep.
I would have to say the
'Cause I
Thrill
re-listened-
Killed Cult, and they was on there. I never really heard
Mm.
anything from them until
Yeah.
that album.
Yeah, because I rewatched The Crow not long ago, and some of those songs, some of the bands on the soundtrack are pretty obscure and never really had a whole lot of success afterwards.
Had that Stone Temple Pilots song on there.
Oh, that-
Everybody was singing.
The Big Empty,
Yeah.
that was a big hit for them too.
Yep.
And of course, you can't go wrong with the Cure song.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's my favorite song on the record is "Burn" by The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cover of the what was that band?
Nine Inch Nails did the
Dead Souls.
Joy Division cover.
Joy Division. Thank you. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to spit out. And that was actually a really good version of that song.
And you also had Rage Against the Machine, The Violent Femmes, Rollins Band,
Yep.
Helmet, Pantera. For Love Not Lisa were one of these bands on there that no one really heard much of afterwards. Parochial Cult, Jesus and Mary Chain, and Jane Siberry, I guess it was Jane Siberry, who did the It Can't Rain All the Time, which is referenced
Yeah.
In the
throughout
movie.
the film,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
at the end. And you know what? Honestly, that was the one that kind of I didn't really like. It wasn't as good as I thought it was back then.
Oh, going back and listening to
Everyone
it again. right.
everyone got all weepy listening to that one back in the day, and it really, I felt it was one of the weaker songs. And maybe
The very
weakest.
last track on there.
Yes, that's "It Can't
Yeah.
Rain All the Time."
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably my least favorite, actually. The Slip Slide Melting is the band that's playing in the club when the Crow goes to kill oh, I forget what the thug's name is. The one
Yeah,
who's doing the
main guy.
heroin
Mhm.
in the bathtub.
Oh yeah.
Not T-Boy or Fun Boy.
Fun
or,
boy or
Fun,
something.
fun boy.
I feel like a little bitty fish on a big fucking
Hook.
hook. Boy, your mama should be proud of you right now.
Yeah.
I said. No, that was a great movie.
No, his name was Skank.
Skank.
Skank. Yeah.
I've heard that the
Skank's already dead.
Yeah, he's over there.
I keep reading that the new one is actually unwatchable, is what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't care. Not.
And I love Skarsgård, but I don't know if they say it's pretty bad. But then again, like I don't know if it matters what they say. If you're interested, go watch the movie.
It depends on how much you like they.
Well, it's kind of funny. We was talking about the Madam Web movie. All of us was going to go see it, and now that it is out on Netflix, my daughter said she actually got to watch it, and she said it wasn't that bad. So now I'm really drawn because I haven't seen it, but I have heard a lot of the
We can still
Talks-
do a watch along, so that way we can be each other's emotional
Madam Web
support
soundtrack.
friend.
What's on the Madam Web soundtrack?
Please tell me there is
Yeah.
one. I don't think any money was spent for that.
I'm kind of interested for sure now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's name another soundtrack.
All right. Well, since that was on mine, I'm gonna have to say there was and it's not necessarily a soundtrack to a movie, but it was a soundtrack to a series.
Like a
At
TV
the high point of of success, there was the X-Files soundtrack.
Oh, yes. I actually forgot about that one.
That has numerous songs on there. Did
Col-
you
Soul
find
Coffin
information,
and-
Brad, on Madam Web soundtrack?
It didn't have any licensed
Okay.
songs on it apparently, but,
You're right. That was a good
but
one.
the
It had Soul
X-Files
Coffin,
soundtrack.
Yes.
and there was a Foo Fighters doing a
Down in the
Yes.
Park.
down
Yep.
the park. What's his name? The Cars guy. Here in my car, I feel
Gary
safe.
Newman?
Yeah, Gary Newman. That's one of his old songs.
I love the, of course, the Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, in the Hands of Death.
Man, that song is
Burn, Baby,
so
Burn.
badass.
I love that that one. My Dark Life. It wasn't that Elvis Costello.
Yes,
Wasn't
that
he
was
on that? That was a
creepy
cool
one.
song.
There was Sheryl Crow had a song on there.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
she
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And it was creepy.
Standing
cool.
on the Outside, looking
Yes.
in. The songs in the key of X. is
Oh, the
name of the album, yeah.
Soul Coughing Unmarked Helicopters.
Unmarked helicopter.
The poetry bit of Star Me Kitten. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and the Red Right Hand. That's a fantastic
That is a
song.
fantastic song.
That's-
You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
That's been used in so many things.
The-
but that's a
Scream,
good
of
version.
course.
But
Yeah.
that's a good version of that song for sure.
Deep from Glenn Danzig was
Yes.
very cool.
Danzig, Screaming Jay Hawkins with Frenzy. Frenzy.
See, now that is right there. How I went out and bought an album after I heard that song of his.
Screaming Jay Hawkins is called the precursor to horror punk. I mean, the guy had a like a really kind of ghoulish stage show he would put on, from what I understand.
The the PM Dawn remix of the
Yeah,
X
we
Files.
could skip that one.
One of the really cool things was the start of the hidden tracks on CDs, because there was a Nick Cave song on the beginning of the album. You had to let the first song start and then hit the reverse button. You couldn't hit a track button, a backup track, but you had to hit the reverse button.
Oh yeah, so it
And
goes to the
there was a
very
hidden track
at the beginning of
yeah.
the CD. Yes.
And it's all Nick Cave poetry that's fantastic and creepy. But yeah, that would be on my top 5, including the Crow soundtrack, and it just makes you want to go find this album right now and listen to it, because it's got really a bunch of wild stuff on there.
Yeah.
Brad, what you got?
Well, I could wrap up all the picks and just saying the Tarantino verse
Jackie Brown?
Because between
God, I forgot
between
about
Pulp
that.
Fiction, Jackie Brown, Reservoir Dogs, Death
Whoa.
Proof, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have to put Jackie Brown on my top
even
5.
Kill Bill, which didn't really
Yes.
have. Which didn't really have.
It didn't have a lot, but there was some, as they say nowadays, bangers on there.
The end theme that the Goodnight Moon when the bride's driving off at the end
Yeah.
of part 2,
Yeah,
that'll stay with you for a while.
yep.
But yeah, so many stuff on, especially on the Pulp Fiction,
Mhm.
the Urge Overkill, The Girl You'll Be a Woman Soon, everything that you just hear the refrain and it just brings up so many memories of
Yeah.
that, and Flowers on the Wall, and
Yep.
of course the surf rock. What's the the main title?
Oh, God, it's the girls. It's
the little
the 3-piece.
Yeah, the 3-piece band.
The
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4s, I think is what they were.
Maybe that sounds about right, but I'm not for sure.
'Cause they were like, what do you do?
Because when they even in the movie,
Yeah,
yeah,
they were playing in there
playing-
before.
Well, no, I was
the
talking
sword
about
fight.
Dick Dale, who did
Oh.
the main theme, the Miserloo.
Is that the
That's the opening theme to.
to.
No, it's the opening theme to the film. It's the main. the
I was
guitar
thinking
surf
about
rock.
the
The 1, 2, 3, 4s are in. They're
in the club.
in Kill Bill, isn't it?
Yeah. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh,
Are we
Pulp
not talking
Fiction.
about?
Dick Dale and the Deltones. That
Okay.
was in Girl You'll Be a Woman Soon and all
Yes.
that. Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Because I said we're combining it all.
Okay.
There's a song from the Death Proof soundtrack.
Oh, the song right before they had the car wreck.
That
Dizzy Daisy Dozy.
Baby It's You by Smith. I thought that one was fantastic, and I'd never heard of that. Tarantino's got such a deep music appreciation that he picks out a lot of really cool songs that a lot of us have never heard. The ones that Jungle Julia was playing. The Jackie Brown one, though, because just
110th Street.
110th Street, Bobby Womack, that one.
Street. Love it.
Yeah, and the way that song opens and ends the movie with Pam Grier, kind of mirroring her journey in that movie, street life.
The in Death Proof, there's the song called "Hold Tight" by Dave D. Dozy, Becky, Mitch, and Titch, and it's right before the
Say that 5 times fast.
No. Because the DJ had called it in to listen to it on the radio, and everybody was high, and it was late at night, and they were in the car driving home, and this song comes up, and it's right before the horrific car accident. And
Where
it's
the
an
lady's
awesome
leg
song.
goes through the.
Yes. Horrifying.
She has nice legs.
Has a nice leg.
And there it goes.
That was Planet Terror.
Oh, Planet Terror is good too.
Rose McGowan with the machine gun leg.
Okay, we're supposed to be talking about music, not the movies. All right, Donnie, you're next. What else is on your?
I'm gonna have to go with the Spawn soundtrack.
Oh
to
wow!
the
Yeah.
Spawn movie, because if you remember, there was a lot of artists that was doing
Yeah, they
duets with each other.
They were combining the latest metal and the latest indie or techno music.
yeah,
maybe?
like there was what was it, Marilyn Manson and
Sneaker Pimps.
Sneaker Pimps, yes.
Yeah.
The Long Hard Road Out of Hell, and then Tiny Rubber Band by Butthole Surfers.
That
and
song is so amazing still today.
yeah,
Manson and Sneaker Pimps was was my favorite off that. Stabbing Westward was on there.
Silverchair and
Ugh.
Yeah, Silverchair.
Gross.
and then
Why are you hating on Silverchair?
I
What
hate
did
Silverchair.
Silverchair ever do to you?
That one, their most popular song when they first started.
Until Tomorrow.
There's a chair inside a house without water
The
or something. And they were all from Australia or something.
Until tomorrow.
Sounds like a hater for a
Yes.
Silverchair hater.
Complete hater.
He's like, forget Nickelback. I hate Silverchair.
Oh, and then the Satan song. Satan, Satan, Satan.
Oh, that was the. Oh shit.
Korn and the Dust Brothers. Yeah, that Tiny Rubber Band song. I have a very fond memory of a party we had over at your place, and everybody was quite on drugs and alcohol, and they had a very low part to the song, and just there was,
Satan.
Yeah.
Satan was a Kirk Hammett with Orbital.
And
Yeah.
what was the remix of the For Who the Bell Tones?
It's Metallica with
And
DJ Spooky.
Yes,
Spooky,
that
yes.
is awesome.
Torn Apart was Stabbing Westward and Wink.
Yeah.
There was
Silverchair in Vitro.
Bleh.
There was a Soul Coffin song on that one too.
What?
Slayer and Atari Teenage Riot.
Yes.
Soul
Soul
Coughing and
Coughing, yeah.
Roni Size.
Yes.
A plane scraped its belly on a sooty yellow moon. A lot of these songs I do not remember. I think, honestly, the Trip Like I Do and
Yes.
Long Hard Road Out of Hell
Yeah.
were the two most memorable.
Right.
You know, when I saw Filter last year, they do not do Trip Like I Do live. You would think that they would.
Mm.
They only get 6 songs, and 3 of them are new.
Did they do Picture?
Now, well, of course, they do Take a Picture and Hey Man, Nice Shot or their closers. They only get 6 songs, so they save the big 2 for last. But Wake Up, was it? Wake Up My Airplane? Is that what it
Wake
said?
up my airplane.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
I
It's
feel
not the
like a
Delphonics.
newborn.
The Delphonics.
So I would say on my top 5, I would, and I may have already skewed my count now by saying, "Oh yeah, that one too. Oh yeah, that one too." But I would put a real music score of Empire Strikes Back into my soundtracks of music top 5.
But is that a score? That's not a soundtrack. That's a score.
Okay.
Well, he kind of put that out there at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. We were.
Because if I'm thinking scores, I'd think, yeah, Empire, John Williams across the board, or
Mhm.
Harry Manfredini and the Friday the 13th
yeah.
stuff, you know, or, but I don't know. No, that's a score. It's not a soundtrack.
Damn it.
Got to come up with something else.
All right. Well, back to you then.
It can be. Okay, I'm gonna. If we're talking just songs, we could take all the Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street, the entire Nightmare on Elm
That's
Street
wrong
series. Yeah,
genre.
wrong one. Well, I said
Where my brain went.
Friday on
Sorry.
Elm Street. We could take all of those. We have such memorable songs as Dokken, Dream Warriors,
Oh, you talking about
Dokken, Into the Fire, and then you get Tuesday Night, Running from This Nightmare. That was the opening for Nightmare on Elm Street. I think part 4. We'll be corrected if that's not true.
I have another soundtrack.
Oh,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
There you go. So here's the soundtrack.
well, that's a pretty good one.
Part
It's-
2 with God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
No. Just the first one.
The first one.
Well, what's on the first one? I cannot tell you. I can't remember.
There is
You have
one,
to know one if you.
There's a band called Shark Island that's on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you was a big Shark Island fan there for
Yeah.
a minute.
There's the
Yeah, he's a hair band.
what's the? Oh my God, I gotta look it up now because it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Oh my God, this soundtrack is weird. It's got Tora,
Yes.
It's very 80s.
putting on my walking shoes. Tora.
Yeah, Shark Island, Father Time. That's a really good one. Extreme Play With Me, where it's the sped up Bach. Was it Bach or Beethoven's one of Beethoven's song? It's during the mall chase scene. Whatever that is.
Wow. This is an unexpected pick from you.
But it's stuck. Like hey, remember good soundtracks? It's like, yeah, I remember this one. This is the one. Dangerous by Circuit. Oh, there was 2 Shark Islands on there. I Can't Break Away by Big Pig is a fantastic song. It's the opening scene when they're building the phone booth. It's a really cool song. So yeah, okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to once again clump like a genre, a subgenre, like I did with the Tarantino ones, and I'm going to clump all of the, not just Nightmare on Elm Street, but all of the songs that you could collect from the different horror movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
Like Jason Lives Part 6, we get Alice Cooper, Teenage Frankenstein, we get Alice Cooper, Man Behind the Mask, we get Alice Cooper, Hard Rock Summer, during the scene where Megan pushes Tommy's face down into her crotch while she's trying to drive away from her father. Alice never released that song too until recently, I heard. So, but you have like those songs, you have the Dawkins songs, and we have Tuesday Night. We have the entire Shocker soundtrack, which had
Wow.
remember Megadeth's No More Mr. Nice Guy. We had Iggy Pop, Love Transfusion was on that. We had a supergroup on there called the Dudes of Wrath, and the Dudes of Wrath included Desmond Child and Paul Stanley from Kiss, among others, and they sang the lead Shocker song. We had
I remember that.
yeah, we had God, there was a lot more. There was Dangerous Toys were on there. I believe there was a rap, the Shock Dance. I mean, the movie is very forgettable, but the soundtrack was so popular at the time. So we could take all the metal, hair metal, horror,
Yeah.
Max,
Yeah.
and we'll just clump them all together and say that could be enough to keep you listening for a long time. Not counting like the orchestral scores like Goblin or anything like that. But okay, Donnie, go ahead and name something else.
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit. And y'all remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Last Action Hero?
I think there was a couple of really good songs on there.
There was an Anthrax song on there. I want to say S&W was the name of it. Couple of Alice in Chains. I know What the Hell Have I was on there.
What the Hell Have I is awesome, and Angry Again by Megadeth is on there, and that's awesome.
See, I'm trying to think what else. There was a
Big Gun,
Yeah, I was going to say there's an AC/DC song on there.
which is just
And
basically an AC/DC song.
Right. I remember when that first came out, though, that was a big deal because that was like one of the first songs they had done in a long time.
Def Leppard's Two Steps Behind became a big hit.
It became
It's
a big hit.
not, you know,
It didn't hold up.
It's not a great song, but it became a Dream On is on there. Aerosmith. It's a re-recording of Dream On from
Right.
'91. Queensryche with Real World. Cock the Hammer, written by Be Real, Sendog, and DJ Muggs, performed by Cypress Hill.
Yeah, I was going to say there was a Cypress Hill song on there. I forgot.
Anthrax, Poison My Eyes. So yeah, that was probably
I know for sure when that first came out that soundtrack was a big deal because there was at the time so many good rock bands that was on there. But like I said, you know, of course it probably
the title track was performed by Tesla.
Oh yeah, the Last Action Hero.
Yeah. I wonder if they do that song live. They should if they don't. Even a stripped down acoustic version. They could do that, a slow, twangy Last Action Hero.
They could do it right next to Signs.
Signs. Everywhere the signs. Break into a little, kind of like how Alice Cooper incorporates another brick in the wall into School's Out. Yeah, Tesla could do Signs and all of a sudden break into a little Last Action Hero.
There you go.
That would be good.
Y'all may remember this one.
How many of you here tonight were around in 1992
And you hear like, woo.
at a Tesla concert? You have to imagine almost everyone was around in 1992.
Well, they don't want to give out their age.
Well, did you hear that they canceled the hair metal festival?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it got canceled due to
What?
unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, no, I did not hear about this.
Yeah, and by unforeseen circumstances, we mean nobody bought tickets because they said it's not the fault of any of the bands. It's none of their faults.
But there may be a tornado that day.
We just don't feel good about going forward. There were some bad omens.
All right, I think I have one of the best.
Okay.
Oh.
One of the best. The Singles soundtrack
Ah, yes.
from 1992.
I'm surprised I didn't think of that one. That was one of my favorite theirs for a while. There
Yes,
was
there were quite a
a
few.
Love Mugger song on there. Of course, you got, I think the first demo of Spoon Man was on there.
They had the Alice in Chains Wood,
Yeah.
question mark. That's a fantastic fucking song.
Yeah, I just heard Jerry Cantrell do that live a couple years ago. That Louder Than Life. You were
Yeah.
there, Donnie.
Mhm,
We were
that was-
separated at the time, but he sounds fantastic. Dyslexic Heart by Paul Westerberg
Yes, that's
is
a great
awesome.
song.
That is a good
It
song.
is Seasons by Chris Cornell.
Yep,
Pearl Jam, Breathe.
yeah.
I want to say
Birth-
that Season
the Birth
song is
Ritual.
a redoing of it too, ain't it? Like an acoustical version of. Oh, I want to say that's a different version that's on the soundtrack.
There was a early Smashing Pumpkins on there too.
And Hendrix, and we got, of course, Ann and Nancy from Heart doing Battle of Evermore
Mm-hmm.
as the Love Mongers.
Yeah, that's the Love Mongers.
State of Love and Trust is the best Pearl Jam. So there's two Pearl Jam songs.
There was two
on here.
Pearl
Yeah.
Jams.
But State of Love and Trust is awesome. It's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. Nearly Lost You, Screaming Trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nothing says 90s like the Singles album, for sure.
Yeah, what they thought was going on in Seattle.
Oh, that is what was going on in
Yeah, that
Seattle.
was exactly what was
Was
going
it
on in
not? Or, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Matt Damon knew what was going on in Seattle.
Matt Damon.
When he was-
Dylan.
Dylan, yeah,
Matt
that was it,
Dillon.
Matt Dillon.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I don't remember Matt Damon being in the
Well, there was a Matt in that movie, I know.
Bridget Fonda.
Yes, and Bridget. She went and got a boob job or something in there, wasn't it? I'm trying to think how that was.
That's part
She
of the
she
movie.
didn't.
Did you
yeah,
remember?
that's part of the movie I remember. She was like, her boyfriend wasn't into her. She thought, well, if I got bigger boobs, maybe that would help out.
What else you got, Brad?
Well, if we're staying in this area, I'm not going to clump this time. I won't. I'll just pick a specific one from the same era, 1995, Empire Records,
Yeah. Yep.
in which we had some songs like Gin Blossoms, Till I Hear It From You.
Hmm.
We got Better Than Ezra. We got A Girl Like You by Edwyn Collins. Whose favorite song is that?
Never met a girl like you before.
I heard that in Rockin' Joe's in New Jersey, and I was sitting there in this coffee shop called Rockin' Joe's with a big poster of the Ramones in front of me, and I hear "Girl Like You" by Edwyn Collins. So I thought about it. I was just like, that's funny. We got Cracker on here, Evan Dando from the Lemonheads, Coyote Shiver, Cracker. A lot of these songs I do not remember, but the big ones you do. So that was a good period of the 90s was a good time for rock music.
Well, since we're still in the 90s, I got one now. I don't think this is really a soundtrack, but then again, it might be. I'm going to say the Beavis and Butthead Experience. So we have Nirvana, the I Hate Myself, I Want to Die is on there. That's the first time that was out on something.
Wasn't that their last release? Wasn't that the last
yeah.
Nirvana
That
song?
was the last one you heard right before you get the old bucket there, and then we got Anthrax and Beavis and Butthead, but they're doing "Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun" by Beastie Boys, which is a very good version of that song. Let's see, 99 Ways to Die by Megadeth was on that one. Deuces of Wild, Aerosmith. Of course, Brad's favorite song, "I Am Hell" by White Zombie.
You know, I loved. You know what? This is a great pick because look, it had some huge hits. "Love Roller Coaster," which is not one of my
Yep.
favorites on there, but that
But
was a
it's
big song.
That was a good song, yeah.
And so there were 2 zombie songs on there. We had Rat Fink, Suicide Tanks, and Cannibal Girls.
And you can't go wrong with Jackal.
Oh, Ozzy's "Walk on Water," which is a good song, is on there. You know what? I'm looking at the Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, hold on.
I'm
what
at
are
the
you looking
second Beavis and Butthead album,
at? I'm talking about the
the
experience.
'96 one.
Yeah, I'm talking about 90.
Oh, well, wait. Let's look at the 96
93
one then. 96, we had the other zombie song, "Love Roller Coaster." Okay.
Oh, that was off
Rancid,
of the movie. Yeah, that one was actually
Ozzy's
off
"Walk
the movie,
on
right.
Water," Southern Culture on the Skids, AC/DC, and Engelbert Humperdinck, "Lesbian Seagull," because we used to play that one. I remember us getting inebriated and playing "Lesbian Seagull." That definitely happened.
That was a thing, huh? Oh, shit.
Beavis and Butthead Experience. Yeah, okay, that's Nirvana and Anthrax and Megadeth. Deuces Are Wild, I Am Hell. The Peppers are on there. Okay, it's got the "I Got You, Babe" with Cher. It's the
Yeah.
video they did with Cher.
Okay.
Live action Cher with Beavis and Butthead. So she had a good sense of humor to do that. Jackal was on there with,
Chainsaw?
what's the song called? Mental.
It's probably one of their B songs. I don't remember.
It's
that
called
one.
Mental Masturbation.
Yeah, that one wasn't. I remember the name of it now, but yeah, I don't remember that
It's
one
the-
being too
it's
good.
like, is that in the lyrics?
Well, they're playing. They're playing in town here soon. You could go see.
Play masturbation! Woo!
He'll be up there. He'll be in their line first. Like, oh man, last time I saw him, I hope they really do a deeper dive in the set this time. I hope they pull out "Mental Masturbation" from the Beavis. You know that one, Yeah. I want to hear that one.
Can you play?
I got
it for
the
me,
VIP
please?
for Jesse James Dupree. I got the.
I'm gonna get Charles Saint chainsaw dust all over me.
Yes. Now they're taping this for the Jackal movie, so we have to be. We can't. So they're going to take our cell phones tonight,
I'm gonna put this on TikTok.
hoping that they don't ruin it. We can't have any spoilers.
Yeah, big time. I've got one more to add.
All right.
And I think that's about all I can come up with because it's getting really rough. This particular album, actually, you were interested in a lot of music. I would say we all are interested in a lot of music, but we have concentrated areas where we mostly listen to stuff. But this particular album opened up quite a bit for, I think, a lot of people, including me, myself, and maybe one or two of you. The "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" soundtrack.
The only one I can remember off of that was the "Man of Constant Sorrow."
Yes, that's the main one. But this also turned me on to Ralph Stanley, which was the older bluegrass, and he had the song "Oh Death." And remember the first time you and I had listened to it, me and Brad had listened to it, and this guy was singing "Oh Death," and Brad was like, "God damn!" It's like you could hear it in this guy's voice, discussing the end of life and all that, and it's really remarkable. And that's kind of like it brought back like
Memories of Death.
the Ralph Stanley and the Stanley Brothers, and who was the other one? Alison Krauss and Emmylou Harris were doing things on there. Oh, there's a band on here called the Whites. I did not know that. But yeah, this Soggy Bottom Boys kind of thing.
Oh, that was the name of them, yes.
Well, that was the fictional band.
Right, but there
that
was
was in there. But
they were just covering up. That was actually an older song.
Yeah. And I think one of the guys from the Alison Krauss and Union Station had covered that for the actual movie. But yeah, this was definitely an album that kind of opened up, digging deeper into the bluegrass genre for a little while. But I think that covers most of my list of.
Well, there's one I'm just shocked that you haven't mentioned.
Who's that?
So I'm going to mention it. And it's the soundtrack to the 86 animated Transformers movie.
It was early. It was on my list
I
earlier
cannot
this
believe
week.
that he never said
we
this.
talked about when we talked about it. I started listing things, and I was gonna remember to put that on my list. But
I mean,
yes,
from the
Yes.
opening theme by
Yes.
Lion doing the
Yep.
the metal Transformers
Yes.
version.
yeah,
Not even You Got the Touch. You can forget that one.
yes, yeah. There's other great songs.
Dare to Survive with Hot Rod's
Yep.
theme. We've
Yep.
got Instruments of Destruction, which is
Yes.
really maybe
I
my
love-
favorite.
Yes,
Because that's the song they play as the Decepticons are slaughtering the Autobots.
I just got goosebumps thinking about that.
Oh, I mean, that film, that scene, I mean, all of it is just for Gen X
Yeah.
kids who were
Yeah.
Transformers fans.
Mhm.
It was more than just a movie.
Yeah,
It was made by people who didn't give a shit. They were just trying to roll out the new product line, but in a
Right.
way, they taught us that
your childhood can die.
exactly your childhood can die. I'll never forget
Yeah.
just watching all these characters wiped out
Yep.
because they were robots and they could do that.
Mhm.
And I was having a funeral for a lot of my
Yeah.
figures.
Mhm.
And putting them in a case because they were dead. And my dad said, "Well, you can still play with them."
It's
I
like,
said,
no, they're dead. Yeah.
And then I got to dig out Starscream once they made his ghost. I went into the dead case and I said, "Oh, I can take Starscream back."
Oh, that's great.
And the reason he was spared was because his toy was still on the shelf. That is why they wrote his ghost into it. They were
wild.
still making. They didn't want to make Skywarp and Thundercracker anymore,
Yeah.
but they still had Starscream on the shelf, and I guess you could buy all three of the Coneheads.
No.
Seeker Jets.
No.
Well, I had all three of them, but
I didn't like them as much. I never had any, but I never did like them as much.
they weren't as fun. Well, the toy was the exact same thing. You just
Yeah.
put the cone up instead of putting it down. I guess Skywarp had the best color scheme, but black and purple. That
Yeah.
was the best of any of them. But
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, so and of course you got the touch, Dirk Diggler. Let's would bring it back later.
You got to touch.
Weird Al's on there.
Yep.
Dare to Be Stupid.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yes, Transformers the movie.
Well, okay. Since we're going that route, I got one that I'm kind of surprised didn't get mentioned either. The South Park, Bigger, Louder, and Uncut.
Who was on that?
Well, it was nothing but South Park people, actually. We got...
Well, it was Matt and Trey. I mean,
yeah, we got Uncle Fucker
Yeah,
was
this
on
is
there.
true because it's all music. It's a musical as well.
Yeah.
had Uncle
Blaine
yeah.
Canner, the...
Cal's mom's a big fat bitch.
Good job, Donnie.
Well, thank you.
That's my favorite. Uncle Fucker.
Uncle Fucker. Yeah.
See, there's
Shut your fucking...
shut your. That's part of Uncle Fucker. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Uncle Fucker, yeah.
Cal's mom's a big fat bitch.
Yeah, Kyle's
Blame
mom.
Canada. Up there, wasn't that the Satan song?
Yeah, Up There was the Satan song. Yeah,
I would like to be a hero.
Eyes of the Children.
Was there a oh God. Was there a Saddam song in there?
Well, I think Saddam was bullying Satan.
Yes, I remember that,
And
but
then
did
then
he have a song
sang
on there?
the tearful. Did Saddam? Oh, I can change. I can change. Yes, he did. Saddam. Yeah, because Satan was going to break up with Saddam, and then Saddam said he could change. It's Easy K. That was on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm Easy Okay was on there. Yeah. But I remember when that came out, and one of y'all bought the soundtrack, and I think we listened to it for like maybe 2 weeks straight.
Oh no, I played it at the yard sale we had. I was drunk off screwdrivers, and I'd set the CD player up in the window, and there were people shopping for your girlfriend's Tommy Hilfiger shirts, and I was blaring "Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker," and y'all were just like, "I gotta put something else on there up there. You can't be playing that." It's just like, yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Take you back.
Yeah, that was the funniest movie I've ever seen in a theater. I've never laughed so hard.
Yes.
At a
Yeah, because
movie.
y'all wanted to see it without me, and then y'all was just like, "You gotta
I
see
was
this, Tom."
so stoned watching this, and just had never. Maybe the Naked Gun. Now maybe I don't know. There's not. Oh, Mountain Town.
Mountain Town. Yeah, I was gonna say that
It's
one.
my Poda. Mountain Town.
Yeah, I'm sitting here wrecking my brain.
What would
'cause-
Brian Boitano do if he was here right now?
There's a big gay Al song there. Everything's
We had the
super.
promotional single. I'm super. Thanks for asking.
There was a Kid Rock version of Kyle's mom. Kyle's mom is a big fat bitch.
The radio edit performed by Eric Hartman and Joe C.
Oh, and then there was a RuPaul version of Super.
Super. Okay, that's great. Good Love performed by Chef. Eyes of a Child performed by Michael McDonald. Yeah. You know, and South Park is the only one of these shows that has stayed razor critical of everything. I mean, you have The Simpsons has gone so far to where they won't even let people of a different race perform
Right.
those characters anymore. And characters that they've voiced for 25 years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they've said no. Hank Azaria
Yeah.
cannot voice Dr. Hibbert, even though the joke was always that Dr. Hibbert was Bill Cosby.
Right.
So some of it's just ridiculous. I would seriously like to find somebody who was ever offended by the fact that Hank Azaria did the voice of Dr. Hibbert, but South Park has remained.
Yeah.
So the only one
Right.
that is still really biting and taking shots at things like the Kathleen Kennedy one, the Pandaverse.
Yes.
The Pandaverse,
Yeah.
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 The Pandaverse really got people talking. So these guys are still keeping South Park relevant.
Mhm.
I don't think does anyone watch The Simpsons anymore? It's
No, I
on
haven't watched
season
Simpsons in
30.
a long time.
I hadn't watched it in a long time.
I think Family Guy is still.
I guess it's hard. It's hard to tell anymore. I mean, I still seen like
It's not canceled. I mean, Family Guy is still.
I mean, I see clips and I'm like, I don't know when this was.
I mean, as far as like the animation domination is still like a block on Sundays. They still
Wow.
show it. I don't know if American Dad is still being made or
I just don't pay attention to it anymore.
no. Well, I mean, because no one watches TV like that anymore.
Right.
Bob's Burgers or
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the last one to really break out.
You got more, Donnie?
Well, I got one that I guess you could consider it a soundtrack. So y'all remember
We'll
the
see.
Maximum Overdrive,
Well, that's a soundtrack.
Yeah.
but it was all just AC/DC songs.
Doesn't matter. Still a
So,
soundtrack.
But
Okay.
actually, for AC/DC album, that was a pretty good one because, well, I mean, they got Who May Who and Shut Me All Night Long. Then they went back and done like Ride On.
Who Made Who is worth it just for that one.
Mhm.
And this instrumental DT and Chase the Ace was on there. That was a good one for those about to rock. So I mean, that was a for
It was like a best of for
best,
ACD.
it was
That
like a best of, except for the Who Made Who was the big new song on it. But
Was that already on a newer album, or did they make
No,
that
that-
song?
That was a new song for the
for the sound-
for the soundtrack, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah, because Stephen King wrote the screenplay for Maximum Overdrive. He's a
Right.
huge AC/DC fan. Just as like I'm gonna throw in, even though it's only the song used at the end of the film and the Ramones Pet Cemetery
Pet
from Pet
Sematary.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
And once again, this is because Stephen King is a huge Ramones fan, and if you read his books over the years, a lot of Ramones references are used, as well as AC/DC, and so that makes sense. But I think that's one of my favorite songs from a movie. I don't know if I'd call that a soundtrack, but I want to say that the guy driving the truck that kills Little Gage is playing a Ramones song as he is driving
You are
distracted.
absolutely right.
And
yes.
I believe it is "I Want to Be Sedated," but I could be wrong.
I remember
Or
watching
Sheena
that
is a-
again over
it's either
a couple
Sheena
years ago
or-
and never picked that up until I seen it later.
Yeah,
Sheena is a punk rocker, might
Yeah.
have been.
I think it is Sheena. Yeah. So
But yeah, he was jamming along because they played a lot of that song going up to him get ready to hit him. So yeah,
such a good movie.
it's a good movie.
I love it. Yeah, and I met the Green Goblin truck at Scarefest last year. I'm so happy to be able to walk up and see it, all menacing looking. It's like that's such a random thing that they put the Green Goblin on the front of the toy
Yeah.
truck,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it really works.
Yep.
So that album came out in it looks like '86.
Hmm.
Man, just to think about how long ago that's been. But yeah, we was little bitty tykes back when they came out.
Yeah. And AC/DC are still at it.
Mm.
Well, is that a wrap on this episode? I think we covered what we wanted to cover.
Yeah.
Unless you got anything else you want to add to that.
And if you have any soundtracks that we may have missed, leave them in the comments below and
Yeah,
let us know that.
Let us know what soundtracks you thought were cool that we didn't think were cool.
And if we don't know it, we may check it out and
Yeah.
give you a shout out later on.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Podcasting from Beyond the Grave audio edition of our podcast. Please continue to watch, subscribe, like, tell your friends, or, don't. But we would rather you tell your friends.
Yes,
about it.
definitely tell them.
And thank you very much.